Let's go back to our conversation, of course, about what is happening in Krugersdorp. Of course, communities yesterday in Mahale demolishing shacks belonging to Zamazamas in what was perceived as mob justice. Let's talk to Naledi then. Thanks very much for joining us here on SABC News. What do you make of what has been going on? I mean, it seems that there is a retaliation, of course, in the community, but one can and might say, well, you know what, this was actually justified.
So, as you have said, mob justice is a response to from the community to the state, as they feel that the state is not giving them enough protection, is not giving protection at all. So, as a gender fellow from the CSVR, we have been conducting a research that we're about to launch that is on sexual and gender-based violence with 8 communities in Gauteng, and Kagiso is one of those communities. And some of our findings have shown that the community does not trust the police system, and the community is unhappy with the referral system and how eroded it is. So one could say that this violence is justified, but as a civil society, we also say that violence is violence, whether done by the community or by the police. In this instance, we have found that mob justice has been used as a way for communities to try and speak to the state and have the state to respond to them. So we would say that the community is justified to say that we have been complaining, we have been reporting, as you have seen with videos circulating, that the community has been reporting cases to the SAPS, but its inadequacy is what has led us here now.
Yeah, and let's talk about the police, the SAPS. It does seem as though public trust in police is really at a low. What can be done to build that sort of trust again, so that communities don't have to, and I'll use the term have to, take matters into their own hands? I mean, I've been hearing a lot of commentary and some people saying, it can't be up to just the police, because when we do report and when we speak about these issues, which have been ongoing, there's nothing that is done about it. And now it seems that, police are coming to the forefront, because in actual fact, they are being exposed, aren't they, at this time?
Yes. So as the case that we're speaking to is a case that came or was given birth to by the atrocious occurrence of a mass rape of 8 victims in Krugersdorp. As I had said before, with the findings from our current report and our previous reports, the communities have been saying that they have been reporting, but there hasn't been any sort of proper or enough response from the police. Some of them would even say that what happened on Wednesday, when the police did come to Krugersdorp and raid some of the places, the mine dumps where Zamazamas are claimed to be found, was not enough, because now there is a media that is focusing on what has happened. There was a performative act that the police had seemed like they were doing what they were supposed to have done previously. But even then, the community was able to go back on the next day to some of the places that the police did not reach, and they still did find that there are some illegal Zamazamas that were still operating. Yeah. So the trust issue within the police system and the state for the community, I know that a panel expert had also reported on this, that the police need to work on crowd control and needs to be trained on how to control the crowd, because as you see right now, things are now changing to criminalizing the community because of their mob response to their dissatisfaction. Yeah. But we are not speaking on to how the police are engaging with the community and how the police are responding to the situation. So I would say one of the first things that the police would have to do in responding better to the community is being fully capacitated on crowd control, whether be during unrest or during times when we do need to be engaging with the police. So in places like the police station, many community members have reported on the response that the police gives to people relating to services like sexual and gender-based violence, and many other cases that people report about. And it seems that the police is not well trained on how to respond to the community. So I think to build trust back to the community, one, the police should stop criminalizing the community for complaining about things that they've complained about for so many times. We can speak to 10 years ago when a similar thing happened in Marikana. We can speak to another unrest that happened in Diepsloot, where we were told that the police will work towards reforming and doing better, but we are here now in Krugersdorp, and there hasn't been any response towards what happened in Diepsloot and where to move from here. So I think for the police to gain any sort of trust with the community, it has to start with how they treat the community.
All right, Naledi Joyi, thanks so very much for that, weighing in on the fact that communities are taking the law into their own hands there in Krugersdorp, as we've seen that unfolding. Naledi Joyi is a gender fellow at the Center for the Study of Violence and Reconciliation, of course, commenting there on what is taking place in Krugersdorp.